Hey, everybody, and welcome in. I'm your host, Josh Weber, and this is episode 6 of my podcast. And today I just wanted to talk a little bit about reframing and how important reframing things has been in my life and in my sobriety over these last 4 years. Life has a way of getting busy and getting hectic, and it's really easy to get bogged down in the anxiety and all the worry, and then that leads to bad feelings and resentments and bad thoughts, and those things just creep in, and they stay, and they make things so much worse, I find. And so a couple nights ago, I was just getting home from work. It was my first day back in about 3 weeks, and I faced basically a kitchen that was just destroyed. And so my our oldest daughter stayed with my wife for the day, and so to help take care of her needs and take care of the house and the dogs, and my daughter if she needs anything, other daughter if she needs anything, and that kind of thing. So when I got home and I saw the kitchen was a mess, I was kind of, irritated, I suppose. And so just being that I knew that they were busy all day, I just went ahead and started cleaning it, and I was feeling kind of bitter about it. But as I kept doing it, I started to think, everything is good here. My daughter took care of everything, and my wife is good, my other daughter is good, the dogs are good, and everybody's fine. And so instead of being angry and resentful about that dirty kitchen, I reframed that, and instead of being angry, I turned it into being grateful. And what a big deal that made, because I was able to um, all those things that I wanted to say out of frustration, I didn't say, and instead I decided I was going to reframe. And when I did that, instead of being angry, I was grateful, and so I was able to say, like, hey, thanks for taking care of everything today and holding down the fort. I really appreciate it. And and that was it. And it was like, wow, what a difference. Especially being where I was 4 years ago with my drinking and things like that, I was never able to reframe. And quite honestly, it took me probably about 6 months to be able to get really good at it, even maybe a year. Um, and so, yeah, when I reframe, uh, I can turn that bitterness into gratefulness, and it does wonders not only for your own mental health, but for those around you. They can feel how you feel a lot of times, I find. And so that's really all I want to say about reframing. Uh, some exciting news I've got coming up. I did want to mention that I reached out to my pastor and to interview him possibly for being on my podcast, and he said, yeah. So it's a go for possibly beginning of June, and we'll go from there. I did have some questions I wanted to ask him, and I thought some people might benefit from what he has to say about it. But a few of the things that I wanted to ask him about were the importance of memorizing Bible verses. He had talked about that and how that's good at kind of warding off those bad things that come into your life, and just is helpful in everyday prayer. Um, so I wanted to ask him also about, he brought up hospitality, so being more inviting to people and having them in your home, or having that, just being more inviting to people. Um, and I find that's real helpful in my life. I used to kind of push people away. Well, I did push people away, and I like to be, alone or isolated a lot of times. But since getting sober and growing in my faith, I've found that just being more open to conversation with people, and in person, not so much virtual, but um, not to say that being online isn't helpful. I mean, I've got some great communities, and one of them actually helped me stay sober. But I also find that growing in my faith and being open to having more relations with people, it's very beneficial. And also, um, I wanted to talk about uh, some other things. So we'll bring those up, and so once we get to that, we'll do it. But thanks for tuning in today, and I'll keep you updated as to where we go from here. So have a great day, and let's reframe those bad thoughts into good thoughts. Have a great day.